we will now use the addition and multiplication properties of equality that we discussed in the last two lessons to solve linear equations. We talked about that in the last class. Now, we will use the following steps to solve a linear equation. Now, these are simple guidelines for you to follow if you want to solve an equation comfortably. Alright? Step 1. Simplify each term to simple terms. Now, a term, 5x is a term, 6x is another term, plus 10 is another term, so that on each side of the equations you have these simple terms that you can either move from one side to the other. You know the rule for moving a term from one side of the equation to the other. What's the rule? A term sitting on one side can be moved to the other side by changing its sign. So simplify each term to simple terms. Then combine like terms on each side. If you have a 6x and a minus 3x both on the same side, combine it to a single term. Then 3. Move terms containing the variables to the left and the constant terms to the right side. Now, this is not a perfect rule. You see, you can also decide to move the variables to the right and the numbers to the left. It doesn't matter really. But in most cases, it may be convenient for us to move the terms containing the variables to the left and the constant terms to the right. Okay? But sometimes we may choose to move the variables to the right and the numbers to the left. Okay? Number 4, again combine like terms on each side and then make the coefficient of the variable 1. Now you know the technique. What do we do to make the coefficient of the variable a 1? Well, either divide by the coefficient or multiply by its inverse, by its reciprocal. Okay, if you can practice all these steps, then you will be comfortable solving linear equations. Alright, let's practice this. Solve 2x plus 3 plus x equal to 9. Now you notice that each of the terms are simple terms there. So to begin with, we will combine like terms on the left side. So write down that equation, and what do? Combine like terms on the left side. 2x plus x equal to 3x. So the left side now is 3x plus 3 and the right side equal to 9. Alright, we combined the terms in x on the left. Now what do? We want the term in x alone on the left. We don't want this plus 3 on the left. What do? Take it to the right side. When you take a term from one side to the other, it will change sign. So move plus 3 from the left to the right, it will become minus 3. So 3x equal to 9 minus 3. And that is 3x equal to 6. Well, what do we do now to make the coefficient of x a 1? The coefficient of x here is 3. To make it a 1, divide both sides of the equation now by 3. So that will be 3x divided by 3 equal to 6 divided by 3. That will make the coefficient of x a 1. 3 and 3 cancels. We have now x alone on the left side, and the right side 6 can be factored as 2 times 3, and the 3 and the 3 will cancel. We got our solution x equal to 2. A very good way of solving simple equations like this. Okay, another one. Solve 6 times q minus 3 equal to negative 4 times q plus 2. Now, what is the first step that I gave you in the sequence that you can follow in solving simple equations? Write each side of the equation using simple terms. Now here, you can actually do that by distributing. That is what that statement actually means. So distribute this 6 on the left and distribute the negative 4 on the right. Can you do that without my help? How do we distribute that 6? It will be 6 multiplied by q will be 6q, and 6 multiplied by negative 3. Always watch the sign of the number. 6 multiplied by negative 3 is negative 18. So the left side is now 6q minus 18. I want you to practice this, doing it in your mind. That's why I'm doing it without writing. On the right side, distribute the negative 4. Negative 4 times q is negative 4q. And negative 4 times positive 2 is negative 8. Okay, so distribute 6 times q is 6q. 6 times negative 3 is minus 18, equal to negative 4 times q is negative 4q, and negative 4 times positive 2 is negative 8. Now we have simple terms on each side. What do we do now? There are no terms to combine, so we will now transfer negative q from the right to the left. What will that become? It will become a positive 4q. Then we will transfer negative 18 from the left to the right. It will become a positive 18. So move negative 18 from the left to the right, and negative 4q from the right to the left. That will become, alright, help me do that. 6q is already on the left. 6q, the negative 4q comes to the left, become positive 4q. So 6q plus 4q equal to this negative 8 that is already on the right, negative 8. Now the negative 18 moves to the right to become positive 18. Now do not make a mistake when you do this. When a term is moved from one side to the other, remember to change the sign. The negative 18 moving from left to the right become positive 18. The negative 4q moving from right to left become positive 4q. Alright, now we combine terms on both sides. 6q plus 4q is 10q, and negative 8 plus 18, okay, no problem there. Negative 8 plus 18 is the same as 18 minus 8, that is 10. 10q equal to 10. How do we get q alone? To make the coefficient of q1, divide both sides by 10. That will be 10q divided by 10 equal to 10 divided by 10. And on the left, the 10 and the 10 will cancel. On the right also, the 10 and the 10 will cancel. So what is my right hand side? 10 divided by 10 is 1. Remember, when all the factors are cancelled, there will be a 1 still remaining. So what is our solution? Our solution is Q equal to 1. Okay, let's move on. Solve 5r minus 13 minus 6r equal to 3 times r plus 5 minus 16. Well, you notice that on the right side, the terms are not simple. The terms become simple when you finish distributing the 3 onto the r plus 5. So the first thing to do is to distribute the 3 into the r plus 5. You know how to do that now. So the left hand side is 5r minus 13 minus 6r equal to 3 distributed into r plus 5 will give me 3 times r is 3r. 3 times positive 5 is plus 15. So 3 times r plus 5 is 3r plus 15 minus 16. Okay, we now combine terms on each side. I have indicated by using the red color. 5r minus 6r can be combined. 15 minus 16 can also be combined. So combine terms on each side. We have 5r minus 6r. I hope you have no problem doing that. 5r minus 6r. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. 5r minus 6r is a negative r. And the negative 13 will remain. So my left side now is negative r minus 13. And what is the right side? 3r will remain as it is. What is positive 15 minus 16? Positive 15 minus 16 is a negative 1. So the right side now is 3r minus 1. Okay, next, what do we do? Move the negative 13 from the left side to the right side and the 3r from the right to the left. That will be negative r is already there. The 3r moved from the right to the left became negative 3r equal to negative 1 is already on the right and the negative 13 moves from the left to the right become plus 13. Okay? Now we combine terms one more time. What is negative r minus 3r? To add variables, you need only add their coefficients. The coefficient of r here is negative 1. What is negative 1 minus 3? Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. So negative r minus 3r is negative 4r. What is the right side? What is negative 1 plus 13? It's the same as 13 minus 1 is 12. So you got negative 4r equal to 12. In our next step, we need to make the coefficient of this r a 1. At present, the coefficient of r is negative 4. How do we make the coefficient of r a 1? Divide both sides by negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 4. So that will be negative 4r divided by negative 4 equal to 12 divided by negative 4. And negative 4 and negative 4 will cancel on the left. What do we have on the left? An r alone. On the right, watch here. 12 divided by negative 4. Numerator is positive, denominator is negative. That makes the whole number negative. So you get r equal to negative. This negative is this. Alright, I wrote 12 as 3 times 4 so that I can cancel the 4 from the denominator and numerator. There you are. And so our solution is r equal to negative 3. Okay? I want you to practice. You see, as soon as you finish watching this, you must do this on your own. Make sure you can write them down, these steps, on your own. Let's try another one. Solve negative z minus 6z plus 3 equal to 4 minus, in bracket, 6 minus z minus 3 minus 2z in parenthesis and the bracket closed. You notice here that we need to do a bit of simplification before we can solve the equation. What is the simplification? We need to first of all distribute this parenthesis. That means distribute this negative 1 outside that parenthesis. That is the first thing to do. So distribute the parenthesis. Distribute the parenthesis means distribute this negative 1 into the parenthesis. Alright? Look at the way I did that. Now everything else remained the same. Alright? All these are the same. I just want you to watch here. This is a negative 1. Negative 1 times 3 is minus 3. And now negative 1 times negative 2z. Look at that. A negative 1 distributed to a negative 2z. A negative multiplied by negative is positive. Always watch the sign. A negative 1 multiplied by negative 2z is positive 2z. So we distributed this negative 1. One more time. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Negative 1 times negative 2z is positive 2z. What is our next step? Distribute the square bracket. In other words, there is a negative sign outside the square bracket. Now, this is getting a little interesting. Is that right? All these terms are inside the square bracket. Let's distribute that negative 1. Can you do that? Let's do that mentally. This negative 1 multiplied by 6 will be a negative 6. This negative 1 multiplied by the negative z will be a positive z. This negative 1 multiplied by this negative 3 will be a positive 3. This negative 1 multiplied by this positive 2z will be a negative 2z. Okay? There you are. So what I have done is everything else remains the same. I distributed this negative 1, a negative sign outside a parenthesis or a bracket is a negative 1. So negative 1 multiplied by 6 is negative 6. Negative 1 multiplied by negative z, and negative times a negative is a positive z. A negative 1 multiplied by a negative 3 is a positive 3. And a negative 1 multiplied by a positive 2z is a negative 2z. Alright, we finished distribution. Now what we need to do is combine terms on either side. Okay, let's combine terms. On the left, negative z minus 6z. Tell me, what is negative z minus 6z? Is negative 7z. So the left side will be negative 7z plus 3. On the right side, you got to combine the numbers. Can you tell me what that is? 4 minus 6 plus 3. You see, what I will do is, I will add the positive numbers first. Look at this. 4 plus 3 is 7. And 7 minus 6 is 1. So 4 minus 6 plus 3 is 1. Look how I did that again. This is a positive 4 added to the positive 3. That will give you 7. And then take away 6. Okay, let's combine the terms. Negative z minus 6z is a negative 7z plus 3 equal to 4 minus 6 plus 3 is 1. And what is a positive z minus 2z? Positive z minus 2z is a negative z. Alright, now that we have done so far, we need to move the negative z from the right to the left and the positive 3 from the left to the right. Yes, what does that become? Negative 7z plus z. The negative z moves from the right to the left, becomes a positive z, equal to 1 minus 3. The positive 3 on the left moves to the right, becomes a negative 3. So, we can now combine terms. Negative 7z plus z. What is negative 7z plus a z? Is a negative 6z, and 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Is that right? Okay. Now we need to make the coefficient of z a 1. At the moment its coefficient is negative 6. To make it a 1, divide both sides by negative 6. So, divide both sides by negative 6. Negative 6z divided by negative 6 equal to negative 2 divided by negative 6. On the left, the negative 6 and the negative 6 will cancel, leaving a z alone. And on the right, you notice a negative divided by negative is a positive. And 2 divided by 6 I wrote as 2 over 2 times 3. So that I can cancel this 2 and this 2. We get z equal to, what is the answer? The numerator is 1, the denominator is 3. We get z equal to 1/3 is the result. Okay, a very good problem. If you know how to do this, you know how to do linear equations. Okay, practice this on your own. Next, solve 5x plus 3 all over 4 equal to 2. Now here we have an equation that contains a denominator. You see, an equation that contains a denominator is, the denominator is an inconvenience. So when we have an equation that contains fractions, that is numerator and denominator, we always want to get rid of the denominator. You see, the numerator is 5x plus 3 and the denominator is 4. Now, how do we get rid of the denominator? What all we need to do is multiply on the left side by 4 and also the right side by 4. So this can be done by multiplying each term of the equation. Now, here the equation is simple. Tell me, how many terms are there on the left side? I know you may have a difficulty telling me that. Now, I'm going to write this down. 5x plus 3 all over 4. You see, this 5x plus 3 is a quantity, and it's always good to write that inside a parenthesis. It's a quantity because, why is it a quantity? It is this quantity that is divided by 4. In other words, that 4 on the denominator belongs to this whole quantity. That means this is one single term. Now you must distinguish here. If it is 5x over 4 plus 3 over 4, now this is now two terms, but this is a single term because this is a term on the numerator divided by denominator, a single term, whereas this is a term, a numerator and a denominator, plus a numerator and a denominator. These two are single terms, and this is a single term. So, when you want to multiply this by a number, always remember to put this in a parenthesis, that quantity. So, in order to get rid of a denominator, it can be done by multiplying each term on either side by that denominator. Okay, I want you to learn this very well. This skill is very important. So what do? Multiply the left side by 4 and the right side by 4. And look at the way I do this. Before I multiply, I enclose the quantity 5x plus 3 in a parenthesis because they belong together. Divided by 4, multiply that by 4, equal to 2 multiplied by 4. Now, this 4 on the denominator will cancel with the 4 on the numerator. There you are. Leaving the left side as 5x plus 3 and the right side equal to 8. You see how simple the equation became. The equation now is 5x plus 3 equal to 8. And we now move this positive 3 from the left to the right. What will it become? It will become a negative 3. So move positive 3 to the right. We have 5x equal to 8 minus 3. Or 5x equal to 5. We need to get x alone, so we divide both sides by 5. 5x divided by 5 equal to 5 divided by 5. Okay, you may not be able to see that very well, but that should be okay. 5x divided by 5 equal to 5 over 5. On the left, the 5 and the 5 cancels, leaving just x alone. And on the right, 5 divided by 5 is 1. What is our solution? Our solution is x equal to 1. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Alright, another one. 1/4 x minus 2 equal to 1/3 2x plus 3. Now tell me, how many terms are there on the left? There's only one term there. On the right also, only one term. Why? Because x minus 2 is a quantity in parentheses multiplied by 1/4. And 2x plus 6 is a quantity in parentheses multiplied by 1/3. Now, we have a small problem. We have a 4 on the denominator on the left and a 3 on the denominator on the right. We want to get rid of both these. And therefore, we must choose a convenient number so that we can multiply on the left and on the right to get rid of both these numbers. And that convenient number is actually the LCD of these two denominators. Tell me, what is the LCD of 4 and 3? The LCD of 4 and 3 is 12. That means 12 can be divided by 4. 12 can also be divided by 3. That means we will multiply the left side by 12, also by the right side by 12. The LCD of 4 and 3 is 12. We multiply both sides of the equation by 12. Why? What is our motive? We need to get rid of this 4 and this 3 on the denominator. So look at what happened. 12 multiplied by 1/4 times x minus 2. See that? Equal to 12 multiplied by 1/3 times 2x plus 3. The quantity x minus 2 is in parentheses. The quantity 2x plus 6 also is in parentheses. Now, you see the 4 on the denominator goes in 12 how many times? 4 goes in 12 3 times. So 4 goes in 12 3 times. Now, what is this term on the left now? Can you tell me what is the term on the left? The term on the left now is 3 times x minus 2. That's right. And on the right, the 3 goes in 12 how many times? 3 goes in 12 4 times. So what is my term on the right? It will be 4 times 2x plus 3. Alright, let's write that. 3 times x minus 2 equal to 4 times 2x plus 6. You see how we got rid of the denominators? And now we are free to work without fractions. What next? Distribute the 3 on the left and the 4 on the right. Okay, 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 2, what's the sign? 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. That will be 3x minus 6 equal to 4 times 2x is 8x. And 4 times positive 6 is plus 24. Next, move the 8x from the right to the left and the negative 6 from the left to the right. You get 3x minus 8x equal to 24 plus 6. Is that right? 8x moving from the right to the left becomes minus 8x. And minus 6 moving from the left to the right becomes plus 6. Now simplify each side. What is 3x minus 8x? Well, if you now know your numbers, you should tell me that quickly. 3x minus 8x is negative 5x. Negative 5x equal to 24 plus 6 is 30. Alright, what do we do to make the coefficient of x a 1? Divide both sides by negative 5. And that gives me negative 5x divided by negative 5 equal to 30 divided by negative 5. And the negative 5 and the negative 5 will go on the left side, leaving x alone. And on the right, the numerator is positive, denominator is negative. That means the whole number is now negative. That gives me x equal to negative 30 is 5 times 6. You understand why I wrote 30 as 5 times 6. I have a 5 on the denominator. And the 5 goes with the 5. What is our solution? X equal to negative 6 is the solution. Again, an important type of equations. And you must learn how to do this. Okay, another one. Again, we have fractions. Now look at the difference in here. 5/6 m minus 5 over 12 equal to 7 over 8 m plus 2 over 3. Now tell me, how many terms are there on the left? In the previous problems, on the left and on the right we had only one term because the quantities were in parentheses. But if you look here, on the left we have two terms. 5 over 6m is a single term. Minus 5 over 12 is another term. On the right, 7 over 8m is a single term. And plus 2/3 is another term. There are two terms on the left and two terms on the right. So when you multiply now, you got to now multiply each term. You see, that is how you multiply an equation. If an equation contains several terms on each side, when you multiply an equation by a number, you got to multiply each term with the same number. Okay, what is the number that we're going to multiply by? Look at the denominator. 6, 12, 8, 3. What is the LCD of 6, 12, 8 and 3? Well, I give you a method for finding the LCD. Factor these numbers. Look at this now. 6 equal to 2 times 3. 12 equal to 2 times 2 times 3. 8 equal to 2 times 2 times 2. And 3 is only 3. How do you pick the LCD? I taught you how to do this. Start with the first number. Pick both factors of the first. So LCD will contain that 2 times 3. Okay? And now you got to come to the next and pick factors without repeating. You can see the 2 times 3 has been picked. So we don't need this 2 times 3, but we need that 2. So from the second number, we've just picked that 2. I hope you're following this. And now if you noticed, I have picked 2 2's and a 3. I have picked 2 2's and a 3. So let me put that in there. So I have a 2. I have now picked 2 2's and a 3. Come to the third one. This has got 3 2's, but I have only picked 2 2's. That means I need to pick one more 2. There, I need to pick that times 2. Now, do I need this last 3? No, I don't, because I have picked a 3 there. What is the LCD? 2 times 3 is 6 times 2 is 12 times 2 is 24. The LCD of 6, 12, 8 and 3 is 24. 24 can be divided by 6. 24 can be divided by 12. 24 can be divided by 8. And 24 can be divided by 3. I hope you got the method of finding the LCD. So LCD now is 24. Okay, so since the LCD is 24, what do? Multiply each term of the equation by 24. The LCD is 24. Multiply each term with 24. And watch how I do this. 24 multiplied by 5 over 6m minus 24 multiplied by 5 over 12 equal to 24 times 7 over 8m plus 24 times 2/3. You multiply each term by 24. Now we come and simplify here. Watch me do this. We say 6 goes how many times in 24? 6 goes 4 times in 24. And what is this term now? Look at this term. That term is 4 times 5m. 4 times 5m is that term. Okay, let's go to the next one. 12 goes in 24 how many times? 12 goes in 24 2 times. And look at the minus sign there. That will be minus 2 times 5. That will be minus 2 times 5. Equal to, we go to the right side. 8 goes in 24 3 times. And this term now becomes 3 times 7m. Is that right? So equal to 3 times 7m. And plus, this 3 goes in 24 how many times? 8 times. And this will be 8 times 2. I'm going to take you through this one more time. The 6 goes in 24 4 times. That makes the first term 4 times 5m minus 12 goes in 24 2 times. This is 2 times 5 equal to 8 goes in 24 3 times. So this term is 3 times 7m, there you are, plus 3 goes in 24 8 times. This is 8 times 2. We now multiply. That will be 4 times 5m is 20m, minus 2 times 5 is 10, equal to 3 times 7m is 21m, plus 16. You see how a very ugly looking equation like this became a beautiful equation now, by simply multiplying each term by 24. And now what do? Move negative 10 to the right and 21m to the left. We got 20m minus 21m. Don't forget, you move a term from the right to the left, it changes the sign. Equal to 16 minus 10 will move to the right, become plus 10. What is 20m minus 21m? 20m minus 21m is a negative m. A negative m equal to 26. Right. If a negative m is 26, what is m equal to? Right. We can make this positive by multiplying by a negative 1. Look at that. A negative 1 times a negative m equal to a negative 1 times 26. In order to make the negative m a positive m, we multiply by a negative 1 on both sides. Now a negative 1 times a negative m is a positive m, and a negative 1 times a 26 is negative 26. You should know by now, if negative m equal to positive 26, then m must be equal to negative 26. Okay? I want you to practice this question again one more time. A very important type of problem. Another one, solve 0.2 times x minus 30 equal to 1.6x. Now tell me, how many terms are there on the left side of this equation? How many terms are there? There's only one term. It is 0.2 multiplied by this quantity. It's just one term. And now, I have told you sometime in the past that if you have decimal numbers, it is more convenient to make them whole numbers. Now, how do we make a 0.2 a whole number? Move decimal one place to the right, or multiply by 10. Now, Do the same on the right. So multiply each term. There is only one term on the left. Multiply each term by 10 to make the decimal numbers whole numbers. So look at this. 10 multiplied by 0.2 times x minus 30 equal to 10 multiplied by 1.6x. When you multiply a decimal number by 10, the decimal will move one place to the right. So 10 multiplied by 0.2 will be 2. And 10 multiplied by 1.6 will be what? 16. The decimal will move one place to the right. The equation now becomes 2 times x minus 30 equal to 16x. Isn't that simpler to work with now? What do you do to this equation? What is the next step? We have you see the left side are not made of simple terms. We need to make the left side simple terms by doing what? Distribute that 2. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 30 is minus 60. That will be 2x minus 60 equal to 16x. And now move the 16x to the left and the negative 60 to the right. I'm sure you are now quite comfortable with that method. Now that makes 2x minus 16x equal to positive 60. 16x moving from the right to the left become negative 16x. Negative 60 moving from left to right become positive 60. Alright, what is 2x minus 16x? 2x minus 16x. Positive 2 minus 16 will be negative 14. So negative 14x equal to 60. We need to make the coefficient of x a 1. So divide both sides by negative 14. That is negative 14x divided by negative 14 equal to 60 divided by negative 14. And on the left, negative 14 goes. You got x alone on the left. On the right, positive 60 divided by negative 14 will make the whole of that quantity negative. So x equal to negative 60 I wrote as 2 times 30, and 14 is 2 times 7. And remember, this negative makes the whole number negative. And the 2 goes. I have therefore x equal to negative 30 over 7. Or it can be written as negative 4 and 2 over 7. Okay, let's do another one. Now look at this. Solve 0.05 times 2000 plus 2x equal to 0.04 times 2500 minus 6x. If you look at the decimal numbers, we need to move the decimals 2 places to make it a whole number. So multiply the left side and the right side by 100. Now before that, let me ask you, how many terms are there on the left? There is only one term on the left. There is only one term on the right, because 0.04 is multiplied by the quantity. It is a single term. Okay, multiply each term by 100. Let's do that. 100 times this quantity equal to 100 times the quantity on the right. Now, why did we do that? When you multiply a decimal number by 100, what happens to the decimal place? It moves 2 places to the right. So tell me, what is 100 multiplied by 0.05? This quantity is simply a 5. And 100 times 0.04 is a 4. So this will be 5 times 2000 plus 2x equal to 4 times 2500 minus 6x. Once we have now gotten rid of the decimals, we now distribute. Now how do we distribute? 5 times 2000. What is 5 times 2000? 5 times 2000 is 10,000. So that will be 10,000, and 5 times positive 2x is 10x. 10,000 plus 10x, okay, equal to 4 times 2,500 is also 10,000. And 4 times negative 6x. What's the sign? 4 multiplied by negative 6x is minus 24x. Alright? Move the negative 24x to the left and move the 10,000 from the left to the right. What does that become? 10x plus 24x. The minus 24x becomes plus 24x on the left. And this 10,000 coming to the right becomes minus 10,000. 10x plus 24x is 34x. 10,000 minus 10,000 is 0. Alright, tell me, if 34x equal to 0, I talked to you about this earlier. If 34x equal to 0, what is x? Now, this can happen only when x equal to 0. 10x equal to 0 means x equal to 0. 100x equal to 0 means x equal to 0. 34x equal to 0 can happen only when x equal to 0. So the solution of this equation is x equal to 0. Okay, another one. Solve the equation and check the solution. 8 times t minus 3 plus 4t equal to 6 times 2t plus 1 minus 10. Obviously, you first need to do the distribution. Is that right? Distribute the parentheses on both sides. Help me do that. 8 times t is 8t. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. We distributed the 8. Plus 4t equal to, let's now distribute the 6. 6 times 2t is 12t. And 6 times positive 1 is 6 minus 10. In the next step, combine like terms. 8t plus 4t on the left becomes 12t. So 8t plus 4t is 12t minus 24 equal to 12t plus 6 minus 10. What will be positive 6 minus 10? It's negative 4. In our next step, we will move the 12t from the right to the left and negative 24 from the left to the right. And that will be 12t minus 12t equal to the negative 4 is already on the right. The negative 24 from the left become positive 24. Okay, what is the left side? 12t minus 12t is 0. We get 0 equal to negative 4 plus 24 is 20. What does that mean? 0 equal to 20 is an absurd statement, because 20 is 20. Can 0 be equal to 20? No, it's an absurd statement. What does that mean? It means this equation is absurd. What does that mean? It means this equation does not have a value of t which will make this a true statement. In other words, this equation is not a true equation. We will therefore say this equation has no solution. You see that? Because it gives you the conclusion 0 equal to 20, which is an absurd conclusion, which means this equation has no solution. Alright, let's do another one. Solve the equation. Negative 6k minus 5 minus negative 5k plus 8 equal to negative 3. Alright, I want you to watch the signs here very carefully. Well, we will distribute the parenthesis. Look at that. What are we distributing in here? Negative 1. Distribute the negative 1 here. What are we distributing in the second parenthesis? Again a negative 1. Can you try that on your own? Just do it mentally first. Negative 1 multiplied by 6k is negative 6k. You can write it along with me. So negative 1 times 6k is negative 6k. Look at this. Negative 1 multiplied by negative 5 is positive 5. Now come to the next one. This is a negative 1. Negative 1 multiplied by negative 5k. Negative times negative becomes positive. That would be a positive 5k. And a negative 1 times a positive 8 is a negative 8. Alright? So, watch it again. Negative 1 times 6k is negative 6k. Negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. Negative 1 times negative 5k is positive 5k. Negative 1 times positive 8 is negative 8. Equal to the right side is negative 3. Now we combine like terms. Tell me, what is negative 6k plus 5k? Negative 6k plus 5k is a negative k. And 5 minus 8. What is 5 minus 8? 5 minus 8 is a negative 3. So my left side now is negative k minus 3 equal to negative 3. And now move the negative 3 to the right side. What do we have? Negative k equal to negative 3 plus 3. And negative 3 plus 3 equal to 0. If negative k equal to 0, what is k equal to? K equal to 0. Okay, that was a good question. Just one more. The product of two numbers is 24. One of them is 3. What is the other number? The product of two numbers is 24. One of them is 3. What is the other number? How do we start this? Let the other number be x. Alright? Now, the product of 3 and x is 24. So one of the number is given to us as 3. The other number we called x. And we are told that the product of the two numbers is 24. Now, what is the product of 3 and x? The product of 3 and x is 3x. So, it means 3x equal to 24. Look at how simple it is. The product of two numbers is 24. One of them is 3, find the other. So, if the other is called x, then 3 times x equal to 24. You know how to go from here, is that right? Now, divide both sides by 3. We get 3x divided by 3 is 24 divided by 3. And on the left we have x alone. On the right, 24 is written as 3 times 8, so that the 3 and the 3 will cancel. And you can see the other number therefore is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Is that right? Okay, now we have done a good number of problems in solving linear equation. It's an important skill. You've got to spend a considerable amount of time practicing this, doing the homework, and making sure that you understand this very well. Okay, I'm going to stop this lesson here. I will see you for the next lesson later on.